All right. Yeah, this hair is exactly why I'm wearing a hat. But anyways, hello and welcome to another episode here of OpenRCT2. So a little bit of updates, what I've been doing so far today. A few things actually. As I said last stream, I am preparing stuff for YouTube content. So basically today, making an intro video, planning out some scripts and stuff. So between today and tomorrow, depending on how the rest of the day goes, I probably will be working on that most of the day. And tomorrow I'll actually be producing the video. So what else? What else? Yeah, I was unsure if I was going to stream or not today, but I've hit a little bit of writer's block. I was going to update the website, and now I'm kind of in a place where I need a break from the video editing, so I figured I'd stream for a bit. Pacific Pyramids is a 4-year scenario, so it is approximately 4 hours. Unless I do really good on it and I can fast forward a lot, I don't know if I'll finish it today. It may be one of those things where I do half, like I've done with Evergreen Gardens and other parks before. But other than that, Pacific Pyramids is a very straightforward scenario, essentially identical to Evergreen Gardens in the sense of space and the guest requirement at the end of 4 years. So I will jump right into it here. And once again, if you're wondering about the YouTube channel, same name, Amusement Memorabilia, probably by Monday, Tuesday at the latest, something will be up there. Not OpenRCT2 related. But as always, once all these streams are complete within a day or so, I upload all of them. I archive them basically on YouTube. So now we're getting most of the way through the original Roller Coaster Tycoon scenarios here. There are 7 left. A couple of these are, of course, more difficult in the expert category, but a couple of these in here as well are not that difficult at all. Corkscrew Follies and Loopy Landscapes were the 2 expansion packs for the original Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the day, and even the quote-unquote basic parks or beginner parks for these scenarios have very high guest requirements, so it's going to be a lot more challenging overall. Whereas the original Roller Coaster Tycoon, besides a couple of scenarios, for most people they can get through it just fine. So Pacific Pyramids, I will pause right away, do a little bit of an overview here. So as I said, 1,000 guests in 4 years. The size of the land isn't small. It may not be as big as Evergreen Gardens, but it's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of flat open lands to use. There's no reason why building here would become a problem. There is land available to buy. I'm not sure if I will need it or not. There is actually quite a bit of land available to buy, and I'm not sure what the land cost for it is. In fact, I'm gonna look that up real quick. So bear with me for a second. It's only $15 to expand land in this scenario, so I don't know if it'll be needed. Of course, with a scenario such as Mothball Mountain, I was able to get through it just fine with 800 guests in 3 years without having to expand it all, and that was an option. But here, since land is so cheap, I may buy some more land as time goes on if need be. It is fairly low cost. In terms of the loan, they will let you take out 20,000, so pretty average scenario in terms of money. Starting with 10,000, can take another 10,000 out on top of that. And as for the land here, very flat in the back of the park for the most part, and the front of the park. There is this large sort of sand dune right here, and I believe it's supposed to serve as like a tomb or something. Definitely some sort of scenery like that. I may just cut the paths off to begin with here because it's just adding to extra paths in the park that really aren't necessary. And that could, this pathway inside of the sand dune here could get in the way of expanding the park, possibly building a coaster or another ride that interacts with this. There are some scenery elements in place. I will try to keep as many as possible. I hate the people that do the roller coaster tycoon scenarios and they just raise the entire park to begin with and start fresh, or they just build, 20 shuttle loops and pass the scenario. And of course, there are some strategies to it. Building a large roller coaster isn't always the most feasible option per se, but definitely the point of the scenarios is to try to get you to, use the parks as they already exist. This park does start off closed, so I'm going to open it right away here. It is a free entrance fee, so pay per ride. I'm going to disable the brakes failure. That's the only cheat that I'm going to do. I'm going to take a sip of water because I'm already parched, even though I haven't been talking too long. And I'm going to look at what rides I have in stock right now. So there is a monorail in transport, not a very large park where transport's probably going to be necessary. I can get rid of this underground view for the time being. A couple of general rides, the merry-go-round is going to be a go-to one here. There are a few decent coasters already in stock or already researched, including the looping coaster, the junior coaster, bobsled design, as well as some of the smaller coasters. The Scrambler is the only flat ride that you have. You do have a dinghy slide. One thing I remember about this scenario is, especially in the summer months, water rides are very popular because this, of course, is a desert-themed park, and it gets very hot. So people will be much more willing to go on water rides. And you start with all of the stalls necessary except for the information kiosk. So to start the scenario here, I'm going to go right for the shops and stalls. Once I get the info kiosk, then it will be thrill rides, water rides. I may hold off on coasters just to begin because you get a decent amount right off the bat. So as for this path here, I'm going to have to unpause it. But just like other scenarios where it has a path system already in place, I don't want guests necessarily walking all the way around the park if there's nothing available back here. They will get lost very quickly, and it's just not really needed. So I'm going to unpause, go to the path tool, and I'm actually going to delete this underground path right here. And if I recall correctly, this directly goes all the way around to this entrance right here. So I'm going to delete all of this to start. Yep, it will give me some more money. I'm not going to delete any of the scenery or anything like that. And this path system, it is fairly large. There isn't a lot around it right now, but it's not something where guests will actively get lost or that sort of deal. So I think a restroom right around here, kind of middle of the park. I'll build the food stalls back here. It will bring people to the back of the park, especially if they're looking for food. And I'll get $2 out of drinks. These stalls won't be in use right away, of course. People generally, unless it's a specific scenario, they don't generally come to the park with um, a lot of thirst, a lot of need to go to the restroom or anything like that. So, trying to strategically plan here. I don't want to get rid of the pyramids right away, so I'm probably just gonna, build flat rides I can around the pyramids that already exist. And because they're large scenery items, they will already give some excitement to these rides. So a merry-go-round, begin testing this out. Maybe I believe in Dynamite Dunes. I did the camel go rounds, but I'll do like camel carousel again, just so it fits in the theme a little bit better here, and I'll recolor it different shades than the typical merry-go-rounds. And 185, so $1.50 is a good thing to get for a carousel. I'm gonna put in a scrambler as well. Maybe the scrambler can go in the back of the park here. Typically I do like to, start in one area, but since I'm keeping this path system and I haven't cut anything off yet, I will have to hire some staff as well. So get that rolling. Since I'm leaving the pads in place, I'm going to add a little bit more, and I'm going to need benches and bins all around this park as well, because there are none existing already. Only $1. Oh, that's why. I was about to say, yeah, I should get at least $2 out of the twists. And as for the name of it, I'm trying to think of like a desert theme of sorts or an Egyptian theme. Maybe I'll use, no, Mummy, maybe King Tut's Twist. The names really don't matter all that too much. So this is a $2 attraction. This can open, and I'll leave the red with maybe a gold sort of theme here. And I'm going to get right to work on a coaster as soon as I get some benches and stuff placed in. Let's do see-through scenery just so I can see here. You know, there are some lamps and stuff already installed in this park, and there is going to need to be some benches within this area. Those are the food stalls, and, you know, put some in the back of the park as well. Looking back, it may have been more, is there scenery there, or, yeah, there is. I was going to say it may have been more beneficial to put food stalls in these two little squares, but that isn't necessary because there's scenery there and I didn't want to destroy that. So just populating the pads with some benches. I'm not removing any of the existing stuff. And then bins as well will be needed around the park. Especially around the food area. If I need more, I'll add in more, but for right now, this should suffice. So some in this area around the food especially, and a couple more on this path. And the park should be, did I put any up here? I don't believe so. Some near the entrance as well. Dropping frames, wonderful. That's going to be a common theme, but I believe that it won't be an issue once the videos get exported to YouTube. So, hardly used any money. I think it's time to get a coaster in the park, sort of a shuttle loop design, and it can realistically go anywhere, but I think I'm going to build it right along the property boundary right here. So maybe I'll do a double shuttle loop considering I have the money. And maybe I'll even do something, you know, a little bit more unique here. Than I usually do. So yeah, this essentially is a shuttle loop, but with a bit of a custom design, one that I typically don't build. Prize shop. Oh, did we get the information kiosk? No, so I'm gonna have to keep researching till I get that. Usually the information kiosk is one of the first things that you'll get, but it seems like in this scenario that you're not able to. I'll start it at 51 and see how this performs. Oh god, that's a little bit fast. Okay, so I'm gonna have to reset the crash status on this. I ended up making it go too quickly. I'll do 47 and see how this does now. Reset crash status. I wasn't expecting it to have that much speed to it, I guess. This should work out fine, though. As long as it doesn't go through the loops too quickly, but it's able to make it all the way around, I'm happy with that. Alright, so that's a 5 rating. I guess I could have fit in an on-ride photo section, but still, you know, $5, it is a quick ride cycle. It will perform well. So now I have to bring the path out. That's a little bit longer than I would usually go, but it's okay. And, you know, maybe this just does one of these deals. Information kiosk can go in this area once it's ready. And maybe I'll give it, you know, castle doesn't really fit in, but I'm thinking more along the lines of a tomb. Sphinx's kind of looks like a tail. Sphinx's tail. I don't know. That's not a really creative name, but doesn't really matter. And maybe I'll put in some small cacti in this area. Kind of to bump up the excitement rating just a hair. Okay, how much can I charge out of this? Still $5. That's okay though. Maybe I'll add in some fencing around the exit here. Nothing special. Gets the job done though. I could always advertise this ride for, you know, 6 weeks or so. Get people in the park. And another shop stall will be researched for the time being. I just have to see what else I have here. So there's a bunch of space back here for a coaster. I don't have the wooden coaster, but I'm thinking something like a junior coaster within the mountain, or the sand dune, the tomb, whatever you want to consider it. I think that's going to be my next step to go here. Maximizing the space as much as possible, um, before I get some more flat rides and other things that I can put in. Because besides the dinghy slide, there aren't many other ride designs that I would necessarily want to use at this moment. So I'll go with the junior coaster design. And I'll start building it down here maybe. So I'll use the curved lift hill. Oh, how does that look over? That intersects with the path quite a bit, so I'll use the sharp. And then for this, I can always bump it. I hope that this goes under. No, it won't. I don't really want to mess up this path that's in place right now. At least not at the moment, because there's too many people on it for me to click and drag. I get it, there's only a few, but I'm not even able to go over that. Wow. I'm able to go over it there, though, and it's a 20-foot difference. I do that, and maybe this is my way into the hill. I'm gonna modify this a bit. Okay, perfect. So now I can virtually do whatever I want inside of the sand dune here. Of course, I did have to remove that path that was in there because it was getting in the way. It would have been in the way of this design, essentially. Maybe we do a helix. Go around. And I'm out of money. Information kiosk is available though, so I'm gonna put my research into thrill rides, water rides. I'm doing okay on the coasters for the time being. I was gonna up the loan by about $5,000. And I gotta be back up to minus 5 feet to get to the station. Right here, I believe. I think I'm in one of those tiles. Looks like this one. Oh, but then this pyramid will likely have to be... This pyramid can go. I'll sacrifice one of them. And I'm going to waste a little bit of room up here, but that's okay. As long as I can get this in here. No. S-bend would be one too short. And I don't really want to make the station less than 4 blocks for this coaster. I wish I could do a brake section on the diagonal. That would have been preferable here. And that would make it right back in, but... It would make it there, though. The brakes right in front of this turn right here are going to help it so that it doesn't have uber intense stats, and I can just do the brakes, block brakes. Okay. The log trains are available. I'll use those for this design. Or I could do another mummy one like I did. I believe the one I did in Dynamite Dunes was a mummy sort of theme, so I'll kind of reuse that here. 2-6, this can start testing out. Round castle for this one as well. Just want to see how this goes. Picks up a lot of speed in the underground portion. But it ends with a set of brakes and should be fine from that point. I might put... Oh. Okay. 493. It has a high intensity rating. It is a 450 coaster though, which isn't bad. With a little bit of scenery, I can probably get this over $5. As for the colors, I kind of like the colors the way they are. The train colors though, since it'll be a mummy theme, maybe I'll go with white. And I'll call it Mummified. I was going to call one of the other rides that. I believe I was going to call this ride the Shuttle Loop that, but for this, it works out good enough. So for this one, I don't need too long of a queue line. This will suffice. I'll leave some space here for another midway that loops around. This one can go all the way over there. Maybe I do a connection there. And this one can open now. 499. You'd have to imagine if I put in, just one or two more pieces of scenery here that it would be enough to push it over. Could do one of these here. Some ruins. Rounds the coaster as well. And this should push it over 504. Okay, that's good. I'll add a little bit of fencing to the area around. Maybe I can do a sort of one of these deals, the rope fence style. It does look a little bit weird with the dirt paths, but for all intents and purposes, it will be okay. Been a little while since I put in some fencing and stuff to dress up the ride. Log flume is available. And this I'm just going to build out this way as well. There we go. A lot of room left over for other stuff. I could supposedly put a coaster on top of the sand dune now too, if I have enough level land and such things for that to work. And I did develop the log flume as well, so that's another water ride. Log flume can probably fit in somewhere back here. I do want to get a water ride in as well. I'm running out low on money. Not out of money, but low on money by this point. Oh, information kiosk can go in. I said it was going to go in right here at the entrance. This should help with guests getting lost and such things. I can advertise this ride now. I ended up having to sacrifice the pyramid that was right there, but there's still 3 of them, so I mean, no big deal. And I really shouldn't worry about land either, because there is a lot of opportunity to expand this park, and land is very cheap in this scenario, so I'm going to get to work on building. I never liked Logger's Revenge as a pre-built design, so I'm going to build a custom one here. And it's going to take up like this general area over here. That leaves enough room for another coaster over there. I can get creative and put one in this area, like the inverted coaster I believe is available in this scenario. So this is gonna, it's just gonna look a little bit weird, that's all. I'm not too concerned about how a log flume looks as much as I would be, say, a coaster. And this is gonna come around here. I already see the ending of it, so put that in place. Maybe instead of going into a hill, I do sort of, I could loop it around again. I just gotta edit this land a bit. I had an idea for what I was gonna do. I totally forgot, though. This will be the final big hill, sort of. And I do have an idea here. I can actually make a little bit of use of this area for sort of a final turnaround. This should be, yep, very short tunnel, but serves its purpose well. I'll put in an on-ride photo, and there will be some scenery and stuff in the middle of this layout. Starting to think that I kind of built it a little too big, but it should be okay. I'm thinking I've certainly built much more larger, ambitious designs than this one. So that. Left with $526, but this can start testing. That's enough boats. What is that, 10? Yeah. No minimum dispatch. I'll call it the Tomb Flume. I imagine the high point of the ride, you go into the little tunnel, turn around, and there's like a jump scare or something small there. As for the Egyptian theming, I can, I'll put another pyramid right in there. Why not? I deleted one of them, so I'll re-add one in. We put some of these out here. Some other ruins of sorts. I could do a Sphinx here as well. There's a couple over here, but the scenery is very limited, sort of. And maybe I do some cacti in the area. Sort of do one of these deals. And I'm out of money, but for the time being, I'm out of money. Pirate ship is available. Brown castle entrance. The park itself isn't making a lot of money yet. I credit that to there not being a lot of rides. Certainly, this scenario, there has been no rain. I don't believe so far. But yeah, it shouldn't really be a problem for this one. But now the park does have a custom water ride as well. People are coming in, 340 guests nearing the middle of year one, so well on the way to the goal. Again, it's much like the size of Evergreen Gardens. Smaller in lands, but it's the same guest requirement. It's not a hard scenario per se. A lot of people have an easy time with this one by the time they make it this far in the game. And once this opens, I could advertise it. I'll have to take out a little bit more loan for it. $4.50 for the ride, and $3 for the on-ride photo. So not a bad price for it. I was hoping it would be in the $5 range plus. And there's still an advertising campaign out for that ride. Seems like people are using the food stalls and stuff already here. Swinging ship, otherwise known as the pirate ship. Thinking of building it in somewhere around this area. I could build it here, but this bigger space will be used for another coaster. As for up here, yeah, the back of the park now has a couple of rides. Over here you have the stalls. You have a few up here, but it's not very dense. There wouldn't be much that I'd be able to build, in this area up here, or even right about here, so That is too narrow if I want to fit in a queue line or something like that. This is just one too narrow, or yeah, one too narrow as well to fit in flush with the land. I guess I could put it in right here. This one, that path will connect there. Leaves over some space for another ride of some sorts in that area. Let me think. Yeah, I'll bridge it over like that just to make it a bit longer. I could put in another one of these statues right in front of the ride. And I will give it the Pharaoh's Fury name after the Chance Rides model. That is an actual model of theirs, and it fits the theme of the park perfectly. So Pharaoh's Fury, it'll probably be those colors. Yeah, that looks okay. 20 swings should get me $2, $2.50 out of it. $2.51. $2.50. And open. I'll see what I want to do with these pads, though, and I'm probably going to need like another handyman and another mechanic by this point, at least. Two weeks remaining on the mummified campaign. If I don't start another big attraction, which I don't anticipate doing, I will advertise the log flume, the tomb flume as I called it. As for research, river rapids, so that should be enough. Yeah, that's all the water rides you get. So I'll put it into maybe coasters, thrill rides, general rides, kind of give it a wide amount of stuff that I can possibly research here. I'm thinking another one of these, like this pyramid, I don't mind keeping. These ones, though, one of them may get sacrificed because that's a lot of open room right there, and same with right there. I certainly did add another one with the log flume. This is kind of dead space in here. Now that I've added the scenery, I don't want the paths to get too messy either. More frame drops. Wonderful. Okay, it should be fine. River rapids aren't something that I'm going to install right away. They take up a decent amount of space. And this is another park I usually don't like the way it comes out. The desert parks, for some reason, they just look so, I don't know if gaudy's the right word, but they just don't look as good. And, especially when I'm building around terrain and things, it gets messier. This is certainly does not look too good for a coaster. A shuttle loop is what it is. And I will advertise the Tomb Flume here for 6 weeks to bring some more people in the park. 4 years, 1,000 guests. These 4-year scenarios, like theoretically, I could get 250 guests per year and be fine. But I'm already, almost halfway to the goal, so I do like the way that the shuttle loop looks with the curved spike at the end. It does look like a tail, so maybe Sphinx's tail is a decent name for it. The flume is looking okay with the added scenery in the infield there. Maybe I will add some like mesh fencing over here. Yeah, that's fine. Again, not really a scenario I'm too fond of. The next one, Crumbly Woods, I do like Crumbly Woods. It is definitely a bit more on the challenging side, but you're already given. I like parks that have existing rides and not just like one or two coasters. I like parks that already have a few rides in them already because the park is usually somewhat developed. It's either just lacking staff or stalls or whatever the case is, but it definitely helps in terms of money and having things already built and research too, than having to start out fresh with almost nothing. What other coaster designs do I have? Now, in this space, I'm going to save for something larger. I'm thinking maybe the next best place for me to use would be building over this where I can, and there is a little bit of room over here. Now, that may require me removing this pyramid. Because if I'm thinking, I've already used up this area for the station for Mummified. The best place to put a station for something over here would be. In fact, I could do it over here as well. I may go with that. So I'm going to do a bobsled design. I haven't done one of those in a bit. If I don't get in the way of the... Oh wait, that's not what I wanted. I wanted, just trying to see... I'm trying to plan out, like, my brake run and stuff. This will go out one more. The brakes can fit in. I can tunnel it somehow or bring it under here. I just don't want to get in the way of the um, junior coaster inside of the hill. I don't plan on building in there, but certainly there may be an opportunity where I can tunnel this coaster as well to add some excitement to it and such things. So, not going to be able to. That works out fine. On right photo section, the bobsleds do have it. So the challenge with this one per se is going to be just making sure that it doesn't. I don't know if this design can derail or not. When I'm running out of money, so I may not be able to finish this one right away. I can do a helix down. Just for, okay, you can't do like banked drops on this one, so how do I want to construct this? I may opt to go to 40 feet instead of 45. Okay, so the junior coaster's in the way there. Maybe instead I go up and down, sort of do a bunny hill here. I will still have enough clearance from the ground level. Let's see how this works out. Oh, this is going to be close quarters. Yep. Because I believe I'm right on top of that. I can go this way, though. Or maybe not. Yeah, that coaster's just, like, in the way everywhere, and it's hard to see. Well, I guess I can zoom in, but I think I'm, like, right on top of it right there. 10 feet. If I go this way, though, wouldn't I not... be in the way over here somehow. Okay. Ah. So maybe a bit of a helix there or a banked drop. Raise or lower land first. It looks like people are complaining about the bathrooms. Mini suspended coaster is not the design that I want to use. So maybe a bathroom there, but I am going to start charging 10 cents for them. Just because if I have two operating now and I'm trying to complete this coaster type of deal. So yeah, that's going to have to come out one more block. Hopefully I have clearance here. Oh god, I can do that. And build right over the station of it. That's actually pretty cool. And I can start bringing it back now too. Need to be down to -5. Out of money. Oof. Yeah, now I'm in the red. But once this coaster's complete, that's like the next big thing. Towards the park goal. Park is profiting to my knowledge when I'm not building. What did I do? Oh, okay. So, kind of want to do the dip after the brakes just because that way it'll have enough speed to get to the station. Not enough cash. I'm so close. I guess I can place the entrance and exit while I wait. Nothing special here. Come on. A little bit more money. And I've already maxed out the loan, so taking more of that out is not an option. This is kind of a cool coaster, though. Kind of boxy in appearance, but you can't do the diagonal sections on the. Ah, every time I get the money back, I. It's okay. I'm very close to finishing this coaster. There, little more, buddy. Block brakes. What? Oh, this land actually needs to be down one more. Okay, so that is ready. I'm gonna begin testing it before I decide the name and the theme and all that jazz. Um, so very general queue line yet again. Oops. Yeah, no, didn't want to do that. And I need dirt path to go there. Does that connect all right? Because it did something a little bit weird when I... Okay. And I'm not even watching the coaster tests. I really am using this. What? How did that happen? Very interested to see now. Did it just have too much? Oh, maybe it was that dip right there. I'm thinking it's bound to crash again. So I'm thinking it just had too much speed going into that dip. Yep. So I'm gonna have to put some brakes right here. No big deal. And test it again. Should have the speed to make it around and everything okay. And then back to the station. It should have enough. Comes close there, but should be fine. Not expecting a huge excitement rating out of this one. Inverted coaster is available now too, though. That was going to be one of the next big ones I was going to build. 284. Yeah, I was expecting more out of this design. A lot more. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to add a photo section in so that it makes it... I don't want to delete it, and I don't know what requirements I did not meet for it to, you know. But 284, if I can get 250 and $3 out of a on-ride photo out of people, that's potential 550. So not a bad design, but saved by the photo section. Otherwise, I would have had some big issues at play here. I guess you need a lot more turns and stuff in the bobsled design for it to work out well. It certainly has some bigger drops and stuff, and it's a longer coaster as well. So I'm guessing the issue was either not enough turns or the layout was something was wrong with it. I have to reset the crash status on this so people actually ride it when it does open. As for the name, I don't know. Something like a Doom Buggy. Um, Dune Blaster. I don't know. Paying homage to Dynamite Blaster from Dynamite Dunes. We give it gold and black. How does yellow look? That's very bright. I guess that looks okay. Red vehicles. And then Brown Castle. Yeah, 284, so I can probably charge 280 and $3. I want to get as much of it out of it as possible. Very medium intensity rating. People should go on it though. Yeah. Okay, so two very unattractive coasters, but I maximized that space. Going into the end of year one. Let's see. as long as it profits. I'll play until the end of year 1 on this one. I'm not feeling like streaming too much longer at the moment. I just remembered I have something else I have to take care of today. So part 2 will probably be tomorrow with the remaining portion of Pacific Pyramids. And then, after that, the next stream after tomorrow would be a fresh stream with Crumbly Woods, which is the next scenario. I just want to get to the end of this year, see where I stand. It looks like I'll be near 600 guests, and I can run an advertising campaign for the Dune Blaster. Yeah, certainly between the junior coaster and the bobsled here, they're very messy looking. They both have underground elements, but I'm not too happy with they came out, but that's just how it goes in this scenario virtually all the time. It's not a very packed in scenario, but just the way I decided to build this one, it is going to work out though. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by the end of year 2, early year 3 to have the 1,000 guest goal, and I will be able to fast forward through a lot of the scenario then. And yeah, basically right now the name of the game is just waiting for some money to come back in, make sure that the park's doing okay, which it seems to be at this moment. I was hoping for a lot more. I'm not sure what requirement I didn't meet for this not to be a $4, $5, $6 coaster. Maybe it would have been better to go with one of the pre-designed layouts, but with the on-ride photo, it certainly is going to, make some money per hour. So, I mean, currently it is the 4th highest profiting attraction, but compared to something like a car ride or something else I could have built, a custom track ride, this one certainly will bring in some more money. I didn't think it was too bad of a layout. But as with any coaster in RCT, if you don't meet a certain set of requirements when it comes to your ride stats, it hurts your excitement and intensity ratings. And I'm assuming one of the requirements was just either not met or wasn't able to reach its threshold of what it needed. And that's why this, compared to other coasters, is not that large of an excitement rating. Nonetheless, though, despite the excitement rating and all that, it should still bring people into the park because it is a new operating coaster. Did I advertise it? Yeah, I did, so that will help as well. Ferris Wheel is available. What rides were researched while I was building that? The swinging ship is already over there. A couple water ride designs. The Ferris Wheel, I guess, is the only one that went through, and the inverted coaster, which I'll have to hold off before starting to build that because money is becoming a factor now. But certainly something like a Ferris Wheel near the front of the park here will not break the bank. So I'll add one of these in. Start testing this out. I'll call it maybe Horizon something I don't know. Egyptian theme for a Ferris wheel. I'll just call it like giant wheel, I guess. Not really themes, but different name than what I've been using. And the colors are okay as is. Haven't really used orange yet in the scenario at all, except for a little bit on the merry-go-round. 0.85. I want to at least get $1 out of it, so some scenery around it should help. Oh, maybe I'll do some of these. Maybe pyramid would be large. Maybe one of those in front of it. Yep, and that will get me over to dollar. Won't bring people in the park really, but it's another attraction to add as filler there. And over 650 guests now at the end of year one, certainly well on the way to the goal. Um, and there is still a bit of space left as the park stands to expand upon before having to buy land. Certainly, that really isn't an option right now with the way money is, but these attractions should um, be bringing in. That is, unless I forgot to change the price on one of them. So let me just do a quick look and make sure. So that's right. Just did that. That's good. I know I did the swinging ship. 543, so I can actually charge more for the junior coaster now. So I guess I made a little bit more out of the bobsled design. Because this one is, yeah, more than 280 still. The Tomb Flume with the on-ride photo, 450. That $2 still for the Scrambler. Any major complaints so far? Great scenery. Okay. Need to go to the bathroom. There are 2 bathrooms operating now, though. Park is clean and tidy. Maybe I add some more food stalls as well, because I do have a couple more designs that I can use. So those 2 are in this area. I may build some here at the front of the park. So certainly can do a fries and a fruity ices right here. $1.50 for ice cream. For the fries, $1.50 as well. Get to open this, right? Yeah. So those should profit some more. I'll add some more benches to this area using this style. There are some benches already in there, but I want to add a few more because it's near food. And it's raining, so most of these attractions, people won't go on in the rain. It doesn't rain in this scenario very much, though, so um, unlike in Mothball Mountain where it was raining like, every few minutes. This is only like the second time it's rained in this scenario, so outdoor attractions certainly do not lose money or anything that much when it begins to rain. People won't go on them until the rain stops, but um, I don't foresee any problems with the park, not profiting for a long time here because there's a lack of covered attractions. And research, spiral slide. I was hoping for something like Dodgems instead, so I'll probably stick to the thrill rides and coasters for now. Because there's really no other general rides that I want to build at the moment. And, coaster, I'm going to have to wait for the money to come back a little bit more. There are a couple of water ride designs, but again, money's an issue there. And at the size of the park right now, there's really no reason to build a transport ride and spend money on that because it is a very moderate sized park. Crowding doesn't seem to be too much of an issue at the moment. The paths are pretty well laid out and developed, and enough different routes for people to go so that they're not all in one place. The front of the park is not all that busy. The back of the park and the food area over here is certainly more busy, but that isn't out of the ordinary at all. And I'm really getting a lot of guests in quickly here. So I probably won't advertise anymore after this one expires because guests are coming in steadily and I'm 300 away from the goal. Early year 2. Once the money comes back in, another coaster in this area, probably expand the park out a little bit in one of the directions. I can either go this way may be more preferable because this way, this flat land back here is all blocked off by this coaster. I would have to build a path around it. I certainly could, but don't know if I want to. Over here, it's flat-ish, but there is some terrain and stuff to work with. And in the future, near the end of the scenario, I may very well begin to expand over here. But this land over here, there's a way to get to it from right in this area. I can certainly bridge it in some way if I have to from over in the middle of the park here, but it's a lot of flat open land for another large coaster if need be. And I probably will need another 2 coasters and one more major ride to get the 1,000 guests and hold them in the park for another 2 and say 3/4 years. And land is cheap in this scenario, as I've said before, so of course right now it isn't cheap because there's only 2,800 in the bank going on 2,900. And I've already taken out the maximum loan, so I can't take out any more until the money makes its way back. But certainly the rides that are in the park right now, they're all profiting rides, and there aren't any big ticket attractions, but um, the shuttle loop is always high capacity, high admission cost. The junior coaster has 2 trains. Is a higher ticket price. The bobsled coaster isn't making too much money, but it is profiting, and the log flume as well. May be a little bit hurt by capacity, but it is able to charge the most of any attraction in the park with the on-ride photo included here. I may also adjust this a little bit, just so that some of those boats got really close together, so I don't want any crashing hazards. I don't want to hurt capacity, but I also don't want a crash would hurt the ride more than a little bit of a longer line. Over 3,000 now. The spiral slide I don't need to install in the park. One of these coasters. The inverted coaster is something I really want to build for the next big one. But another shuttle loop in another location, or something like that, or a mini coaster may also be preferable to use here with the money situation at the moment. 3/4 of the way to the goal though going on, so this has got to be some of the quickest that I've gotten guests in a park. I did build quite a bit, but I spent through all the money within a year. And I did have to do the bobsled sort of piecemeal at the end. I totally ran out of money and had to wait for it to come back in before I finished it. I really want to know the reason, though, why this didn't get more excitement. What requirement did I not meet? Not a bad ride, but could definitely be getting more than 280. And the on-ride photo helps, but not all rides, of course, have that. All right, so for the time being, I think I'm going to save this one. And I think I'm going to cut it short there. I will probably be back either later tonight, more likely tomorrow, but one of the two to finish off this scenario. So this will be a 2-parter. The park's in good enough condition. I have some other things that I have to get to that I didn't remember when I started streaming. So thank you for watching if you have. This will go up on YouTube within the next day or so, but it will definitely be finished by tomorrow, if not the day after. Yeah, so I'll be back with that, and I will post updates when that will be out as well on the Facebook, and of course, I'm at a loss for words right now. Basically, what I'm saying is that I will end up finishing this very soon, and then the next stream will be a complete one. It won't be a 2-parter. I was totally had ambition to finish this one today in one sitting, but I forgot about something else that came up. But thank you for watching. I will finish this soon, and have a great rest of your day.